Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? Hope you guys have had a great week so far. Today is Monday. No, today's Tuesday when I'm talking about. Yesterday was Monday, and yesterday Stephan Sterns actually went to court. He actually showed up to court, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody who's been following this trial, you know that Stephan Sterns has constantly been denying going to these hearings. This is right. A defendant does not have to be forced to go to these type of hearings. Trial is where it gets a little wonky, but you still could refuse for trial too, but it's probably not in your best interest. But when it comes to these status hearings where the judge basically is looking at motions, looking at scheduling, trying to map out, discovery, etc., a defendant is not really required to go there. So I'm wondering why Stephan Sterns decided to change his mind and actually show up to court and make his grand appearance. So I'm going to bring in Stephan Sterns right now so you guys take a look at this guy. This is how he's looking in this time. Yeah, he's shaved. He's, his hair is short. He's definitely graying a whole lot. But then again, I think he always had grays. And he was just kind of like coloring it with TikTok. Like he was doing a lot of filters and a lot of pictures that, we got our hands on through the course of this investigation and this tragedy. But what are the notable things for us to talk about there? Well, first of all, we're going to talk about the trial stuff very briefly because there's not really much going on there. Like I told you guys, Stephan Sterns is not going to trial till at least the fall of 2025, which I said, and guess what? They just gave a tentative trial date for September 2025. And guess what? Because the judge gave a tentative trial date for September 2025, I'm going to go ahead and say whenever they give it the tentative one, they never stick with it. They never do it earlier, ladies and gentlemen, and they never stick with the tentative trial date. So now I'm going to push my prediction back to late winter 2026. The name of the game, ladies and gentlemen, is to stretch this out as long as possible on the defense's side. But guess what? On the prosecutor's side, they're not rushing. They understand they have the most slam dunk case on the planet. So they want to make sure that they take their time, they cross all their T's, they dot all their I's. They haven't even started depositions yet, guys. They have not even started to formally interview witnesses on the record yet. That shows you how far behind this case is. Those things haven't even started yet. So expect this trial to happen in 2026, late winter. We're talking about February, maybe even early spring. We're talking about March. It's not going to go much longer than that because the defense is already asking for a 2027 trial date. And the judge is like, hell no, because it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate at this time for a trial of this magnitude to just space this out for 3 years. It can happen, though. How many high-profile cases have we observed where it took up to 5 years for it to go on trial? That's how the criminal justice system in America works, especially for a high-profile trial, especially for a trial that has the death penalty attached to the back end. Another notable thing that we found out is that Stephan Sterns is going to be 100% laid in stone facing 2 trials, all right? It looked like for a moment they're going to merge them, but they did not. They have decided it's going to be 2 separate trials, one for the 60 counts of the CSAM, the other one for the murder. So that's basically the gist of what's happening. But I noticed something else after one of my beautiful community members sent me an email, said, Strategic, I noticed something weird. Can you take a look at this, Strategic, and give me your professional point of view as to what it is we're looking at yet? So I'm going to bring in this picture of Stephan Sterns. So this is Stephan Sterns in the trial, but noticing something here. When we zoom out, this guy right here is just mean mugging Stephan Sterns. And it made me think, it's like, oh, well, maybe he's sitting there because, they'll have other defendants inside of the courtroom when they're going through these kind of motions and stuff like that, especially in small towns. And so I'm like, well, maybe he's hearing what Stephan Sterns is being accused of, what they're talking about in the trial, and it's really angering him. But then, I don't know, man, my experience made me think something else, guys. It really made me hearken back to our conversations about the bandits. Now, there's a lot of people who understand where I'm coming from. There are some people, when I talk about the bandits, it kind of triggers them. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to trigger anybody, but you guys know that I built a whole career out of investigating sex crimes in state prison system. And this guy reminds me of a bandit. I'm not saying what type of bandit because I don't want to trigger anybody, but people who have been watching the show, you know what type of bandit. And you look at his eyesight, he's looking. Stephan Sterns, I don't know. You better watch yourself because the bandits are taking notice, buddy. The bandits are taking notice. That's why he's not taking showers. That's why he's not going for recreation. He's not talking to other inmates because the bandits have him on notice. And this guy looks like he's got a plan for you, Stephan Sterns. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm sorry I ended it with a little humor, but I don't know if I'm telling jokes or if I'm telling the truth. Only time will tell, but I'm not wishing anything on nobody. I'm not wishing anything negative on anybody. And certainly I do not wish for any pedophile offender to get what they did to others done to them. I would not wish that on my worst enemy. But still, I bought a house off of investigating the bandits, and this guy's got big bandit vibes. I see you guys on the next one. Like and subscribe, join the channel. Strategic is out of here. Peace.